So is the entertainment industry in India centered around the city of Bali?
There's actually no city called Bollywood.
No, but Bali. Isn't it called Bali?
No,
No?
it's called Bombay.
Bombay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mumbai.
so where does that term Bali or Bollywood come from?
I think it was just a original spin-off of Hollywood, and that's where it came off from. It was Bombay and Hollywood, and then they made it Bollywood. And it's like Hollywood, honestly. They got sets there, filming studios, all types of stuff. But it's,
And the audience for those movies are mostly Indian.
yeah, I mean it's international, with the advent of internet and technology and stuff. So many people know about our culture, but for the most part, yes, and they have a specific target audience. People that watch Bollywood movies, that's the specific target audience for them.
Were you entertained by those Bollywood movies?
Yeah, for sure. It's it's like sci-fi in a way.
And they're all in English?
No, they're all in Hindi.
They're all in Hindi?
Or for the most part. Now it's local movies and indigenous communities coming out and speaking and making movies and movies about their individual communities in India. But for the most part, it was widely known for being Hindi.
Okay. And what are the misrepresentations that you see in those Bollywood movies for outsiders like myself that would be watching them to look out for?
I mean, it's just unrealistic, It'll be like a scene where somebody's getting jumped and he just like Bruce Lee kick through that, like, wham, gone. You feel me? And for the most part, it's a cool it's an actual representation of India, but it's radical. That makes sense.
Let me ask you: do the actors and actresses look a certain way that only the Bollywood community accepts in terms of like you audition? They're looking for a certain look. Is it skin tone? Is it hair?
I feel like yes and no,
Okay.
because in India, there's always been like a skin tone type thing. People from North India are lighter and people from South India are darker. That's probably one of the reasons why I didn't feel like, when I moved here, I didn't really feel like too like uncomfortable in America. It was just like, how people feel bothered. Like I never felt like that.
So, is New Delhi in the southern part of India?
No, it's actually in the northern part of India,
Okay.
somewhere in the middle.
So most of the people there are lighter than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no, to be honest. Like I said, like it's such a melting pot. I even went to school with people from America.
Okay. So now, how old are you when you decide you're gonna leave India and come to the United States?
Probably like, I ain't gonna lie. Growing up, I used to come to LA a lot, but it wasn't like it would be a week trip to see family. And when family moved over there, I was like, shit, I gotta move over there now.
Yeah.
I can't stay at my uncle's house no more. I gotta figure it out.
So who was you living with in India?
In India, I stayed with my grandparents. I grew up with them, and my mama. And my dad spent a lot of time. He was a politician, but towards the end of his career, he spent a lot of time in jail. So we didn't really, have that much of a bond.
And what was he going to jail for?
Shit. He went to jail, and the last time he went to jail before he died, rest in peace, he went to jail for like basically a chit fund scam for like 6 million rupees, and it was all on the news. And
Was he a politician at the time?
he was a former politician, so it wasn't, it didn't really affect me because by that time I had grown up with my grandparents. I didn't really have that politician son's like upbringing, like if that makes sense.
Yeah. So what made you decide you're gonna live here? You were visiting because you had family here, but then one day you decide you're gonna stay?
I came here basically that, but when it was time to go for college and high school and stuff like that, I basically I kind of made up my mind like India is not for me. I've been a musician since I was young. I play 5 instruments. It's more to me just than a rapper or entertainer or I actually play music. I know how to read, write music. I play jazz. I have a background in playing funk, jazz, different types of music. So growing up, I knew if I wanted to make music, I wouldn't be able to be a successful person in India that's basically because of how society kind of, you know, makes it seem like it is. Like you got to be a doctor or engineer.
What about the in Bombay where they have the entertainment part, where you could? I'm assuming you can do anything you want over there, right?
Yeah, but it's like Bollywood music is like a genre in itself, if that makes sense. You know, it's now because Nas actually went to India and he made one of the most famous Bollywood movies in the last 5 years. Hip hop is the new Bollywood, so Bollywood music has hip hop soundtracks now.
Who went to India?
Nas,
Oh,
yeah.
and what was he doing there for?
He actually made a movie called Gully Boy, which was about hip hop culture in India that's been coming up for people like me over the last 20 years. We've had this subculture, but we didn't really have a voice. In the last few years, it's been growing and growing and growing to the point where Nas shows some type of interest in India itself, you know?
That's interesting.
Def Jam too, they just opened up an office over there in India.
So they're looking for talent?
I believe so,
Okay.
but in that Bollywood realm.
Oh, okay. Not sounding American style rap?
Yeah, basically anything that they could Indianize, you know?
Did you listen to that kind of music when you were young?
Growing up, not really.
Why not?
Shit, I grew up on jazz, funk, you know, soul music. It was kind of ironic because it was like my mom, she's super literate and she's just kind of cultured. She had been to America even before I was born and crazy stuff. So like she kind of knew music. She would play like old records and just like certain stuff. Like, you know, I just didn't grow up like that. You know, like everybody. That's why I kind of stood out growing up.
Okay. So you decide to make LA your permanent home, or at least a temporary home, right?
Yeah, you know, definitely. I kind of just because of how the whole music scene was, I felt like this was a great place for me. You know, we all move here, and I don't know about, you know, I can't speak for nobody else, but me, I was for sure starstruck by Hollywood as a kid, you know? So I thought it was, oh, palm trees, and it's all sunny, and it's great, and it's amazing, you know? And as soon as you come, somebody gives you $1 million contract, and it's over.
So name some of the American artists that you heard of while living in India.
So it's just a lot, like, I don't even know if you know, like Herbie Hancock, Kamasi Washington, you know.
Herbie Hancock just had a concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah, he's hard.
Yeah.
I've been listening to him since a kid. Let's see. Obviously, like, you know, the classics, like, say, I don't know, it was just a lot. Like, I even grew up on listening to rock music. You know, it's ironic because I don't really use guitar as such in my music, but I know how to play the guitar. So it was just a melting pot. Anywhere from bands, you could go anywhere from Metallica to Genuine to Ricky Martin to say Jimi Hendrix, all the way to Herbie Hancock, back to like Draco the Ruler.
Now, were your friends in India? They had the same taste in music, but they didn't grow up with listening to the stuff your mom had you listening to, right?
Yeah, like, cause my mom was kind of cool. She was like, she never pressured me like, oh, you gotta grow up and become a doctor, you know? Just like, do whatever you do, whatever makes you happy. If it makes you happy, it makes me happy. Just make sure it make you money too. Say.
So a lot of kids are pressured to go into these professional fields?
Yeah, that's why it was hard for me to find friends, you know? I would find friends like that would do music and stuff, but it wasn't like as many, you know? It was probably 5 kids out of a class of 40 or 30.